One of the things that we always look for is beyond education. So what extracurricular activities has the person been involved with? Maybe it will be a sports club that they've participated in for many years and they now support the younger people coming through by coaching them, or perhaps they are doing a part-time role as a part of their degree so that they are earning money whilst learning. So that's always a really great way to show some transferable skills and what we look for as a part of our application process, because it isn't always just about your education, it's actually some transferable skills that you can bring into the workplace.
Well, when we're looking for candidates that are university students, we're obviously not looking for loads of experience because a lot of students don't have experience. So when it comes to standing out, it's one about being authentic. It's essential you do your research. You should come into an interview knowing the company that you're going to apply for, knowing the job best you can. And that will allow you to ask really genuine questions that are actually going to benefit you. You know, when we interview people, when people ask questions, it shows that they're taking it seriously, that they've done their research, that they're thinking about what works for them, as well as, you know, trying to impress the company, if you like. And also following up. So, you know, emailing after the interview to say thank you, and just sort of, you know, showing that it's a two-way street and keeping that conversation open, really.
A key thing I'd always say to every candidate in an interview is to always be themselves. It's always good where you've got the qualifications, you've got the experience, of course, where that will get you towards the interview stages. But then when you're in the interview, always be yourself. Always show them your drive, your determination, your passion, your ambition towards what you want to do and why, because that will then really make you stand out as a candidate, and it will make us as the company to really want to hire you, to almost bring the best out in you, but also for you to fit into our company and our culture.
Enthusiasm, the energy levels, and speaking up. I find so many candidates will suddenly be very quiet and you've got to drag everything out. You want them to be open, you want them to talk to you. You don't want them to share their whole life story, but you want them to communicate.
So with enterprise, it's a very customer-facing business. So you want to make sure that you display you've had prior experience with customers. That doesn't necessarily have to be in the industry that enterprise is in. So car rental, it can be in hospitality, it can be in retail. You want to make sure that you display good interactions, and previous examples is when a good interaction has maybe gone a long way, or they've relayed that feedback maybe to a manager or something like that. That'd be really good.
Yeah. One thing we always look out for is things like extracurricular activities or hobbies, interests. Certainly at Price Bailey, we're not about recruiting numbers, we're more about recruiting people. So, you know, if you have got any sort of weird and wonderful interest, you know, maybe you're really keen on nailing that banana bread recipe, definitely put that in your application. We love that. We have a video interview as part of our process. Also, you know, if you're part of any societies at your university, that's always really good to include. If you've done any part-time work or any sort of work experience you've had, that's also always really interesting. I think people seem to try to hide when they've done things like, I don't know, work on checkouts in a supermarket, but that's actually a really good opportunity where you've learned some really good transferable skills. So definitely highlight that and talk about anything that you've learned through those options.